You're standing before the king, your heart pounding so hard it feels like thunder in your chest. The golden doors tower above you, carved with lions and winged creatures that seem to watch your every breath. One wrong word, and you'll be executed. One uninvited step, and the guards will drag your body from this hall. But you can't stay silent. Your people's lives depend on your courage, on this single moment of defiance wrapped in submission. Your hands tremble as you clutch the fabric of your royal robes. The purple silk feels like a shroud. Ahead, King Xerxes sits on his throne, his face unreadable, his eyes narrowing as he notices your presence. The golden scepter rests in his hand, your only hope, your only lifeline. If he extends it, you live. If he doesn't, you were never meant to be here. A Jewish orphan, raised in the shadow of exile, now standing as queen of the most powerful empire on earth. But destiny doesn't ask for permission. It doesn't wait for you to feel ready. And right now, destiny is watching to see if you'll speak or if you'll let fear win. Your earliest memories are not of palaces or crowns. They're of dust and distance, of a city called Susa where your people live as strangers in a foreign land. You don't remember your parents. They're just whispers now, faint echoes of a love you once knew. What you do remember is Mordecai, your cousin, your guardian, the man who raised you when no one else would. He's older, with kind eyes that carry the weight of survival. He teaches you the traditions of your people in secret, how to light the Sabbath candles when no one is watching, how to pray in whispers so the neighbors won't hear. You learn early that being Jewish in Persia means living with one foot always ready to run. Hadassah, he tells you one evening, using your Hebrew name, the one only he remembers. Never forget who you are. No matter what happens, you are a daughter of Abraham. You belong to God. You nod, but you don't fully understand. Not yet. Life in Susa is quiet, predictable. You help Mordecai in the marketplace, keep your head down, blend into the crowd. You watch the Persian women walk by in their colorful robes and wonder what it's like to live without fear, to belong somewhere, to be seen. And then everything changes. It starts with a scandal that rocks the empire. Queen Vashti, beautiful, bold, untouchable, defies the king. During a royal banquet, King Xerxes commands her to appear before his drunken guests, to display her beauty like a trophy. She refuses. The scandal spreads through Susa like wildfire. Vashti is banished. The throne beside the king sits empty. You hear the whispers in the market. Asterisk, the king is looking for a new queen. Every beautiful young woman in the provinces will be brought to the palace. Asterisk. Your stomach twists. You try to ignore it. Surely they won't come for you. Surely you're too insignificant, too invisible. But you're wrong. One morning, the king's officers arrive at Mordecai's door. They don't ask questions. They don't care about your protests. You're young, you're beautiful, and that's all that matters. You're taken, along with hundreds of other young women, to the palace harem in Susa. Mordecai grabs your hand before they lead you away. His voice is low, urgent. Don't tell them you're Jewish. Do you understand me, Hadassah? Don't tell anyone. You nod, tears streaming down your face. And just like that, Hadassah disappears. From now on, you are Esther. The harem is nothing like you imagined. It's a world of silk and perfume, but beneath the beauty lies something darker. Competition, jealousy, fear. You're one of many, and only one of you will be chosen. 12 months. That's how long each woman spends preparing to meet the king. 12 months of oil of myrrh, spices, cosmetics. 12 months of learning how to walk, how to speak, how to smile like you were born for this. You watch the other women carefully. Some are confident, even arrogant, certain they'll win the king's favor. Others are terrified, homesick, praying to gods you don't believe in. You keep to yourself, quiet and observant, just as Mordecai taught you. But there's one person who sees you, really sees you. His name is Haggai, the king's eunuch in charge of the harem. For reasons you don't understand, he favors you. He gives you the best rooms, the finest treatments, 7 maids to attend to you. You're different, he says one day, studying you with curious eyes. There's something about you. I can't quite name it. You smile politely and say nothing. Because what can you say? That you're pretending? That every night you whisper prayers in Hebrew, hoping God hasn't forgotten you? Each day blends into the next. You learn to wear the mask of Esther so well that sometimes you forget Hadassah ever existed. And then, one evening, your name is called. It's your turn to meet the king. Your heart hammers as you're led through the palace corridors. The walls are adorned with gold and lapis lazuli, the ceilings so high they seem to touch the heavens. Everything here is designed to make you feel small. The doors open. You step inside. King Xerxes is not what you expected. He's powerful, yes, commanding in a way that makes the air feel heavier. But there's something in his eyes, something lonely and searching. He's surrounded by luxury, yet he looks like a man who's lost something he can't name. He looks at you, really looks at you, and for the first time in months, you don't feel invisible. You don't remember what you say. You don't remember if you say anything at all. All you know is that when the night ends, everything has changed. The king chooses you. A crown is placed on your head. A royal robe is draped over your shoulders. You are no longer Esther the orphan. You are Queen Esther, wife of Xerxes, ruler of 127 provinces stretching from India to Ethiopia. But as you sit on your throne, surrounded by servants and splendor, you feel a chill run down your spine. Because deep down, you know, this is not just favor. This is destiny setting a trap, and you've just walked into it. Months pass in a haze of royal routine. You live in luxury, but you're more alone than you've ever been. The king is often away, waging wars, handling political matters, entertaining advisors. When he does visit, it's fleeting. You're his queen, but you're also his ornament, kept behind walls and watched by guards. You miss Mordecai. You miss the simplicity of your old life. But Mordecai is careful. He positions himself at the king's gate, close enough to send you messages, far enough to avoid suspicion. Every few days, you receive word from him, reminders that you're not alone. And then one day, Mordecai saves the king's life. He overhears 2 of the king's officers plotting assassination. He sends word to you immediately, and you relay it to Xerxes, giving Mordecai full credit. The conspirators are caught and executed. The event is recorded in the royal chronicles. But no reward comes. No recognition. Just silence. You wonder if anyone even remembers. Then Haman arrives. He's a new appointment, an Agagite, promoted to the highest position in the kingdom, second only to the king himself. He's tall, proud, with a smile that doesn't reach his eyes. Everywhere he goes, people bow. It's not optional. It's law. Everyone bows. Except Mordecai. You don't know why he refuses at first. Maybe it's pride. Maybe it's principle. But you know your cousin. He doesn't do anything without reason. And when you finally learn the truth, it makes sense. Haman is a descendant of Agag, the Amalekite king. Your people have been enemies for generations. To bow to Haman isn't just submission, it's betrayal. But Haman doesn't care about history. He cares about power. And Mordecai's refusal is an insult he won't tolerate. So Haman doesn't just go after Mordecai. He goes after your entire people. You're in your chambers when the news reaches you. A decree has been issued, signed, and sealed with the king's own ring. On the 13th day of the 12th month, all Jews throughout the empire are to be killed, men, women, children. No exceptions. Their property will be plundered, their lives erased. Your knees buckle. The room spins. Mordecai sends you a copy of the decree, along with a desperate plea. Go to the king. Beg for mercy. Save your people, but he doesn't understand. You can't just go to the king. Persian law is absolute. Anyone who approaches the king without being summoned is put to death. Unless the king extends his golden scepter, you die. And it's been 30 days since the king last called for you. You send a message back to Mordecai, trying to explain, trying to make him see that you're powerless. His response shatters you. Do not think that because you are in the king's house you alone of all the Jews will escape. For if you remain silent at this time, relief and deliverance for the Jews will arise from another place, but you and your father's family will perish. And who knows but that you have come to your royal position for such a time as this? You read those words over and over. For such a time as this. You walk through the palace halls that night, your mind a storm. Every step echoes in the silence. You pass mirrors and see a queen staring back, but inside, you still feel like Hadassah, the orphan who was never supposed to matter. And yet here you are, in a position of power, at a moment of crisis. What if this wasn't an accident? What if every painful step, losing your parents, being taken to the harem, becoming queen, was leading to this? You make your decision. You send word to Mordecai, gather all the Jews in Susa and fast for me. Do not eat or drink for 3 days, night or day. My maids and I will fast as you do. And then I will go to the king, even though it is against the law. And if I perish, I perish. 3 days. No food, no water, just prayer and silence. You feel your strength fading, your body growing weak. But your resolve hardens. You're done hiding, done pretending. If you're going to die, you'll die as Hadassah, as a daughter of your people. On the morning of the 3rd day, you put on your royal robes. You arrange your hair, steady your breathing, and walk toward the throne room. Each step feels like eternity. The guards watch you, but don't move. The doors open, and there he is, King Xerxes, seated on his throne, surrounded by advisors. His eyes narrow when he sees you. The room goes silent. You freeze. This is it. Life or death. And then, slowly, the golden scepter rises. You live. The king's voice cuts through the silence. What is it, Queen Esther? What is your request? Even up to half the kingdom, it will be given you. Your mind races. You could blurt it all out now. Tell him about Haman, about the decree, about your people. But something stops you. Instinct, wisdom, timing. Instead, you bow and speak carefully. If it pleases the king, let the king and Haman come today to a banquet I have prepared. The king smiles, intrigued. Bring Haman at once, so we can do as Esther asks. The banquet is extravagant. Wine, delicacies, music. Haman is beside himself with pride. He's been invited to dine privately with the king and queen. He feels untouchable. At the height of the meal, the king leans toward you. Now, what is your petition? It will be given you. What is your request? Even up to half the kingdom, it will be granted. You pause. Not yet. Not yet. My petition and my request is this, you say slowly. If the king regards me with favor and if it pleases him, let the king and Haman come tomorrow to the banquet I will prepare for them. Then I will answer the king's question. Haman leaves that night walking on air. He boasts to his wife and friends about the honor. But then he sees Mordecai at the gate, still refusing to bow. His rage consumes him. His wife suggests a solution. Build a gallows 75 feet high and ask the king in the morning to have Mordecai hanged on it. Then Haman can go to the banquet in good spirits. Haman loves the idea. The gallows are built that very night. But that same night, the king can't sleep. He calls for the royal chronicles to be read to him, a cure for insomnia. And in those records, he discovers something. Mordecai once saved his life, and Mordecai was never rewarded. The next morning, Haman arrives at the palace, eager to ask for Mordecai's execution. But before he can speak, the king asks him a question. What should be done for the man the king delights to honor? Haman assumes the king is talking about him. He describes an elaborate honor, royal robes, the king's horse, a public parade. Excellent, the king says. Go at once. Do this for Mordecai the Jew. Haman is horrified, humiliated, but he has no choice. He leads Mordecai through the streets, proclaiming his honor, while inside, his fury burns. Mordecai returned quietly to his post at the king's gate, his robes still marked with the honor Haman had been forced to bestow upon him. The air of the palace courtyard felt unchanged, yet something had shifted. unseen but irreversible. Haman, on the other hand, stumbled home in humiliation. His face, once proud, was pale and drained, his steps quick and uneven as though trying to outrun his shame. The cheers he had commanded for Mordecai still echoed in his ears, each one striking his pride like a lash. Inside his house, he poured out the story to his wife, Zeresh, and to his friends. Every bitter detail of how he, the king's highest official, had been made to honor the very man he sought to destroy. But as his voice trembled with anger, their expressions changed. They no longer smiled or offered clever counsel. Fear crept into their eyes. If Mordecai, the man who has humiliated you, is of Jewish descent, they said gravely, you will not prevail against him. You are doomed to fall before him. Even as their words hung heavy in the air, the sound of hurried footsteps broke the moment. The king's eunuchs had arrived, their presence urgent and unyielding. They came to escort Haman to the banquet that would seal his fate if all goes as planned. That evening, you host the second banquet. The king is relaxed, pleased. He asks again, what is your petition, Queen Esther? This time, you don't hold back. If I have found favor with you, your majesty, and if it pleases you, grant me my life. This is my petition. And spare my people. This is my request. For I and my people have been sold to be destroyed, killed, and annihilated. The king's face darkens. Who is he? Where is he? The man who has dared to do such a thing. You turn. You point. An adversary and enemy. This vile Haman. The room erupts. Haman's face goes white. He falls to his knees, begging for mercy, even throwing himself onto your couch in desperation. The king storms out into the garden, trembling with rage. When he returns, he sees Haman sprawled across your couch. Will he even molest the queen while she is with me in the house? The guard sees Haman immediately. One of the eunuchs speaks up. A gallows stands by Haman's house. He had it set up for Mordecai, who spoke up to help the king. The king's voice is cold. Hang him on it. And so Haman dies on the very gallows he built for Mordecai. But the danger isn't over. The decree still stands. Persian law cannot be revoked, not even by the king. So the king does the only thing he can. He issues a new decree, allowing the Jews to defend themselves, to fight back, to protect their families. Mordecai is given Haman's position. He's clothed in royal garments of blue and white, with a large gold crown. And you finally breathe, not as a queen, but as a woman who saved her nation. You stand on the palace balcony, looking out over the city of Susa. The sun is setting, painting the sky in shades of purple and gold. Below, your people are celebrating, dancing, singing, thanking God for deliverance. You think back to that orphan girl in the marketplace, the one who thought she'd never matter, the one who believed she was invisible. And you realize something. You were never invisible. You were being prepared. Every loss, every fear, every moment you felt powerless, it was all leading here, to this moment, to this choice. Because courage isn't the absence of fear, it's choosing to act in spite of it. You were chosen, not for comfort, but for courage. Not to live safely, but to live purposefully. And now your story will echo through generations. A reminder that sometimes, the most unlikely person is exactly who God needs. We'd love to hear from you. Tell us in the comments how this story inspired you and what lessons you're taking away from it. Also, share what Bible story you'd love us to bring to life next. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to subscribe to Living Pages for more videos like this.